PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Who would have imagined, what was it, 8 or 9 months ago, that this game would dominate our lives on PC and Xbox in the way that it has? This new way of playing, which forces players to come together on a huge map to fight each other to the death in solos, squads or duos. In maps so big that it's incredibly difficult to memorise specific locations, so that every time you play there's something different happening. A red zone that comes in with artillery bombarding you, so you've got to keep moving or get to safety. The gas that comes in that herds us all together to have those frantic last circle moments. Parachuting in with no weapons, no armour, no helmets, having to find all that stuff and then get down to business. Well, Brendon Green, who's the creative director of Bluehole, who created PUBG and before that some DayZ and Armour mods, he didn't just make all this stuff up himself. A large part of the inspiration from this came from the Hunger Games, but mainly Battle Royale, the Japanese film that came out in the year 2000. And if you haven't seen Battle Royale, the Japanese version, you really need to, because if you watch it, there's so many things in the film that you go, wait a minute, that's PUBG. From things like the red zone, to the dirty white tracksuit, to the school uniforms, all that sort of stuff. So in Battle Royale, the film, what happens is in Japan they've passed this law whereby every year the worst class in the Japanese school system, they don't know it in advance, but they kind of get taken to this island, sound familiar, where they've got, over a period of 3 days, they need to fight to the death. There are some slightly different things as well. In the film, what happens is they're all in a building to start off with, and they're sent out into the woods and the open areas of the island. But they're all given a bag, and in the bag is different stuff. So it might be some food, it might be a weapon, it might be some sort of scanner, might be some poison, all these sorts of things. And they run off, and then they can choose whether to kind of group up or fight it out amongst themselves. So that's a little bit different, and also it's last person standing as well. So even if they decide to group up, they've still got to kill each other when it comes to the end. Now, to make sure that they sort of carry on doing this and cooperate with this horrendous game that they're in, they all have these little collars on. And what happens is the collars, they don't know at the time, but the collars have mics in, so the people running it, the military, can see what's going on. But if they don't cooperate, say at the end, they all decided to say, well, we're not going to fight each other, these collars would explode and kill them anyway. And it's a way that they can track people. Another thing that's a little bit different as well is the red zone. It's not artillery that's coming in, it's simply parts of the map, whereby if they're in those particular parts at a certain time, their collars would explode, and they're told these times in advance, so they know they've got to move around. It also seems like in the film, I mean, I might have got this wrong, that there isn't like an enclosing blue gas. They just kind of got to find each other and kill each other. And it's a really good film, very, very violent. At the time it was banned in several countries. But you kind of look at it now, sort of 18 years later, and it's a bit like, yeah, great, but it's still quite shocking, and it's a good story, which is the main thing. So, if you haven't checked it out already, you can rent it, you can buy it. It's in the Google Play Store. It's not very expensive. Watch it. It's got Japanese subtitles, but don't worry, it's fine. And you'll be watching it going, wait a minute, that's in PUBG. Wait a minute, that's in PUBG, and it really brings the game to life as well. Anyway, that's enough from me. Put your questions in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon.